Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Inside Artesian Football here on WREP 15 Sports and the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. I'm your host, Eric Meyer, joined as always by Artesian head coach Carter Whitson. The Artesians go down on Friday night to their mid-state rivals, the Franklin Grizzly Cubs, which turned into an offensive shootout. 101 points between the two teams put up, but Franklin ends up with a victory.
Yeah, the three in a row that we feel like we haven't quite played well in, and people are playing good against us. So we've got to fix some problems in the same way. We need the ball to bounce our way a few times. Losing sucks. There's no doubt about it. Kids are tired of it. Coaches are tired of it. Fans are tired of it. So we're gonna get it turned around, and we'll get some momentum. We'll get things going before playoffs.
You got Whiteland coming up. We'll talk about the Warriors coming up at the end of the show. The Grizzly Cubs, though, on Friday night, like we said, a lot of points put up. You guys were able to get 39, and I'm going to guess under most circumstances you're going to feel pretty good if you can put 39 up on the board.
Yeah, you'd think that. In high school football in our state, 39 points is pretty good, especially, in my 3 years here, how our defense has played. That's a one-off game right there where they give up that many points, and I think we got 2 stops on the game, one on a 4th down and one when they took a knee. So it's not what we look for. It's not what our coaches are willing to accept. So we've got some things this week that we've worked on, that we've changed to get ready for a wildly different style of offense, but also moving forward, just making sure that we are accountable for what we're supposed to be doing.
Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights from the contest on Friday night against the Franklin Grizzly Cubs, and you're going to see them on the offensive end, trailing 7-0.
Yeah, probably a whole lot of offense.
A whole lot of offense here.
Yeah, Craig Wesner played really well, senior. Getting the ball in the flats right there. We sprint out a lot versus Franklin, had some good stuff. Again, going right back to Craig Wesner. Craig is not bigger than very many people out there, but he fights hard. It's a common theme with most of our team. We're not quite very big, but we play hard. Back to back, Craig Wesner. It's the Craig Wesner show. We might need to get him on under the helmet. But we're driving down. They've already scored, and then we run a reverse right here, and we should score on it. But we got 2 seniors that didn't quite get their jobs done. They were unhappy with it, but we get them down close to the 1, and then Xavier sneaks it in right there. We talk about how small we are, but we still drove them off the ball right there. So kids are fighting. Need to get the whole team to fight. Not just the offense. Big plays all over the place the other night. From us, from them. Andy Myers right there with a long touchdown catch. Andy and Matt Thomas both had like 13 or 14 catches each and almost 200 yards each. Xavier played well. Xavier gave up too many sacks on his own, not just the O-line, so there's a lot of improvement that he can do too. A little screen action right there to Craig Wesner, and then down to Matt Thomas. It's kind of the usual suspects with the guys that are making big plays down here. Xavier and Andy and Matt and Craig, and then Tyler getting out in the open right here. We got a little, supposed to be a throwback screen action. Xavier makes a great play. Those to Andy Myers. Andy Myers does a great job of coming back to the ball and working in our scramble drills. So Andy makes a great play right there, so does Xavier. A little speed option to Tyler Cox, gets a good block right there by Isaac Whitaker, cuts it back, and when you get Tyler out in the open field, there's very few people that can catch him. So good play right there. That was actually Coach Dilly called that play, and so he was 1 for 1. So I should let him call a few more plays. There's a little RPO action, a true RPO. We can hand the ball off, we can keep it, or we can throw it. We've started to put those into the offense a little bit more, so that's been good. Good change up. Slant route right there to Andy Myers. Good protection, good solid protection right here. Look at all that time. Look at all the pocket. And we go to Wesley Polston. Wesley Polston gets in the game. He says, "Throw me a go ball, coach. I'm going to score." And he has the last 2 weeks. So good for him. Excited for him. The other guys are excited. It lets Matt Thomas play some slot receiver, which is exciting for him and us. It just gives us a whole new personnel with guys that can make plays. There's Tyler fighting again right there. That was a little empty toss to Tyler, but a pass play, but it looks like a run play. And then here's a tailback with a one-handed long touchdown catch. He's a special talent. He played really hard Friday night with our depth issues at linebacker and tailback. Tyler had to step up, and he really did. Took care of the ball pretty well and ran really hard. So the score's not what we wanted it to be. We got guys that are playing well, guys that are playing hard. We're scoring points just like this right here on a competitive play. But we need more of it, and we need our defense to get some stops. They know that. We know that. There's things to fix, and hopefully this week throughout practice we've got them fixed.
And you mentioned it. We see it on there, the offense as well. Xavier tonight is throwing for nearly 500 yards in the game, 14 catches for Andy Myers. I know the 13 for Matt Thomas. Xavier, I know you guys look at the stats a little bit. We media types look at them a lot more than what you do. Xavier now second in the state in passing, and Andy Myers, I believe, second in the state as well in receiving. We knew when you came here that was going to be your calling card, and you're kind of starting to see it a little bit this year offensively, those big video game-esque type numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. And in our 3 years here, we've had 3 completely different quarterbacks and different styles of quarterbacks. So our offense is always going to change and adapt to who we have on the field. But yeah, we've got those 2 outside weapons this year, and Xavier's playing well. We're smaller up front, so it causes us to spread people out and throw it. But it fits the quarterback, it fits the wide receiver. So we're had some good stats, scored some points, but we don't score in the fourth quarter, and we don't get any stops, and you're not going to beat anybody doing that.
Yeah, and ultimately, like you said, it's about getting a W for you guys and getting better. Everybody gets to play tournament time. That's what you guys are trying to do. You had some injuries. You've got some injuries you're dealing with, and you're trying to get some new places in place and some new faces in the place and ready to go come tournament time.
Yeah, we had 13 guys miss practice this week on Tuesday from injuries and illness. So we're trying to get some guys back. There's no excuse. Yeah, we've lost a few guys. We'll get them back a little earlier than we thought, just from some injury reports. So we're excited about that. But the other guys worked hard all summer, worked hard all off season, so they got to get their chance. And now that they have their chance, they need to perform. And we're not going to use the injury bug as an excuse. We're going to get guys reps, and we're going to get ready for the playoffs, and we're going to go on a playoff run like we always talk about.
You hear the pros talk about it a lot. In football, it's the next man up, so that's the mentality this week for you guys. In football, you heard the coach talk about under the helmet. This week, we've got a new segment. It's a little bit different this time under the helmet. You'll see Coach make an appearance as well as they play a little cornhole under the helmet with Tallent and Thomas.
Anthony, do you want to be good or great? Which one is it, huh?
Dude, I don't know.
Welcome back to another episode of Under the Helmet with Tallent and Thomas. I'm your host, Anthony Tallent.
And I'm Matt Thomas. We're here with Coach Whitson and linebacker Jacob Burkett. And they think they can beat me and Anthony in cornhole. So we'll see how that goes. Big senior year. How's it going so far with school and football?
Yeah, school's been going pretty good. It's been going pretty smooth. Football, we've been kind of on a rocky spot, but we're fixing to come out of it here this week.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear. You want to go first?
No, it's take 2. I already got 10 points on the first take.
Okay.
Make me start over after you screwed it up. There's a shocker.
There we go. You think you're good or something?
Play a little defense there.
So much.
Boom.
It's all
So
good.
that's 5 points for us.
We'll come back here. I got Anthony on my team. So before you go, how often do you go hunting?
It just depends. Depends on what you're hunting, actually. You got different seasons for, different animals, of course, so.
What season is it now?
There's nothing in right now, actually, well, besides like squirrel. Deer season's about to come up here October 1st.
There you go.
Yeah, bow season, October 1st. Yeah.
All right, you go.
You go first. Coach dropped 5 on that immediately.
There we go.
So, how did you meet your girlfriend? I met my girlfriend raccoon hunting. It sounds bad, but it's not really that bad. I swear. I didn't meet her out in the middle of the woods. And I'd actually a competition hunt, and then I seen her over there. Went and talked to her.
Did she beat you?
Huh?
Did she beat you? She beat you? Was it a competition? Oh, you don't remember. All right. Do you want to go first?
Yes, I want to go first. We keep scoring, you don't.
Oh, did you see that? Look at
Wash right there.
You didn't get a point.
I know, it's a wash.
A wash?
You guys need to learn. Like Jacob knows the rules. Jacob's
what they
undefeated
do?
in senior
Oklahoma?
cornhole. Yeah, that's what we do in Oklahoma.
Like, so we play cornhole a lot of practice during the summer.
Yeah.
How'd you get so good at it? You played at family outings or?
Yeah, campgrounds, basically playing with family members, you know. Practice a lot. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. All right, here you go.
Boy.
Look at that.
Flush, fall.
Oh, bud.
Oh my goodness!
Jumanji's.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Burkett, you got the Jumanji cheese.
Nothing.
Jumanji's all four from him.
How are you guys going to adjust without Weston in that linebacker spot?
We got a group of us that are going to come in. We're going to step up, you know, defensively as a whole. We're going to play a lot better.
All right. Coach is up once again.
That barely got on the board. You're really not that good. I think you're all good, but yeah. We're big on getting ready for the game, getting your mind right and everything. What gets your motor going? You know, we have some other players that have different ways, like bashing their head into a locker. What's your like? What gets you going?
You know, what gets me going is like everybody around me, getting hyped up, getting energy flowing, you know. Not being like stupid and acting dumb and stuff, you know. Just kind of being calm, cool, and relaxed.
Well,
It's good balance.
get a cornhole.
Prepare like you're not for the cornhole.
Really?
What do we get up there? 10, double 13. What'd y'all get? 13 nothing. That's 6 points.
You just pulling these numbers out of thin air. That's my bag.
Check the tape.
Give me my bag.
Check the tape. Yeah, so that's 19 nothing. You have one, it's you. Go first, you haven't done this yet.
Going back down. Can't get on the board. On the shot. Look at that. Still can't get in the hole. I told you to go back.
Not good.
Look at that.
Is that a time?
Okay.
So now I get first.
You can't do that. Still can't get in the hole.
No, that was a wash.
That was awesome.
Oh, that's too
The back of the rim and came out.
That's right.
good. That's score?
Y'all got 1 point right there, so 7-19.
7? We had like 13.
You had 6 and you got 1.
No, we had 9.
7. 9.
Had 9.
All right, we're at 9.
We have 10.
All right, we're at 18.
Oh my Lord. All right, you're at 18.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm feeling that. Yep. Take it. Yes.
Oh man, this is looking bad today. Oh my bad.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's 12-18. Here, let me go
12-18. Burkett, who's usually your teammate when you guys play on during senior dinners? Am I better than Andy?
19. Yeah, you're 12. 19, 12.
19 to.
How much you gonna bust?
No, you can't bust.
There's no bust for this.
That would be ball game.
It will.
Congratulations.
Thank you again for watching this week, this Thursday with Under the Helmet with Tallent and Thomas with Coach Whitson and Jacob Burkett. Tune in next Thursday with another great episode of Tallent and Thomas.
Matt's tall. I mean,
Makes me look short.
I know
yeah.
we talked about that earlier on. I'm gonna have to get the audio out here, but yeah, we did that segment. I counted. You guys were up 19-0, and it took three minutes to finish it.
Got to finish, you know. That's why we work hard in the summer. You got to be able to finish in the fourth quarter. What you didn't see was the first take that Anthony Tallent forgot to start the microphones, but I scored 10 points on that first one. So the shutout was on early, and they came back a little bit, but in the same way, we had it in the bag the whole time.
You're very professional because you knew I was over here trying to turn something off, and you just kept going and talking. I did get my head into the shot over here, but that's all right.
It's all right.
It's a good time out there, though, having you guys have a chance to play that.
It's fun. You know, those guys, they play it before practice all the time. They play it at senior dinners. It's a good group of guys, and whenever they do some stuff like that, you can really see the competitive edge come out in them. And that's why they've been successful, you know, seniors successful in their 3 years of varsity football, just because they like competing and they like winning.
You've got Whiteland coming up on Friday night trying to get into the win column once again. And this is going to be a difficult task because, like you said earlier, this is a ball club with the offense that they run. It's pretty unique. You're not going to see it, the fly offense. And so it takes some time to get used to it, time that you really can't simulate in practice.
No, the first time you see their offense full speed is Friday night on their first play. You got our young guys, our scout team that try and give our defense as good of a look as we can. But it's different and it's hard to simulate. It's basically impossible to simulate. So that's their advantage. You know, Coach Fisher does a great job. He's been there a long time, and they start working this offense whenever they're in first grade. And you know, they're pretty good at it. You know, they've started out this season not as successful as they wanted to be, but you know, they'll play really well Friday night. It's kind of everybody's trend right now. They'll play well, but you know, if we do our jobs better than we did last week, if we eliminate the missed assignments, create some turnovers, we'll feel good about it.
For those people who are tuned in but maybe not familiar with what Whiteland does offensively, they hear it's called the fly offense. What are they going to see visually in layman's terms, I guess, if you will, on Friday night offensively?
Yeah, you're going to see a bunch of different formations. They'll have some unbalanced stuff with wide receivers over here, 2 backs in the backfield, quarterback under center, a bunch of jet sweep motion, fly sweep motion. Sometimes they hand it to them, sometimes they fake it to them and then hand it to a running back, and then it also sets up their play action game. They've been successful with their deep shots on play action. So they really, you know, they make you better do your job, and if somebody gets out of their position, Coach Fisher knows how to call the play and you know, really get to what he knows you're not covering.
And then also what's difficult, you try to take something away from him, and he has some of the answers, if you will. He's been around long enough. He knows what teams like to do and then what the counter is to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key to a good offensive coordinator. You know your offense better than the defense knows your offense. So, yeah, they might stop this. Okay, well, let's set up the next play. And they do a great job of that.
Offensively, we talked about what they like to do with that fly offense, and it's difficult to prepare for. Defensively, what are we going to see out of them on Friday night?
You'll see mostly an odd front, 3 down defensive linemen. Every once in a while, they will walk down at an outside linebacker in their 3-4 scheme to make it a four-man front. A lot of different mixed coverages from cover 4 to 3 to even some 2. You know, they do a really good job defensively. Their defensive coordinator has them playing hard, and you can see the energy on the sidelines. They love playing for him. He's a wild man over there. So they do a good job defensively. It's nothing crazy fancy, but it's a little bit different than most teams that you see. So again, similar to their offense, they give you some struggles just because, you know, it takes a second to quite get used to what they're doing, and hopefully you're not down, so it's not too late to do that.
Knowing what they do offensively, what they do defensively, I know that playing and doing your job is going to be one of the keys, but what are some of the things you guys are going to have to do to be successful on Friday?
Well, we haven't created a turnover in 3 weeks, and we've lost 3 weeks in a row. So we can blame under the helmet. That's when we started filming under the helmet. It was 3 weeks ago, but it's really about us controlling the game with creating turnovers, getting off the field on 3rd and 4th down. We just didn't do that the last 2 weeks. So things we can fix, missed assignments that we've taught, and we're going to hold each other accountable and make sure we're doing things better. But you know, it's about us. Can we take care of the ball? Can we get the ball back? They're huge up front, and we're very small. So it's all about, you know, my kids fighting, which is what we do. So, you know, we'll see. We'll play extremely hard, and we'll look at the scoreboard whenever it's over, and we'll feel good about it if we can create some turnovers and take care of the ball.
I know a couple of years ago you go over to Whiteland after you get the big win against Franklin. It was a game where it was kind of back and forth. You guys had to come back in the second half, and it really kind of kick-started your season.
Yep.
You guys are looking to try to get it kick-started once again over there on Friday night.
Yeah, my first year we beat them during, I think it was their homecoming game.
Right.
And then last year they come in and beat us when we were 2 in the state. And you know, you could see their student section when we let them rush our field. They thought they won the Super Bowl. So, you know, it's become a good rivalry. Very respectful coaching staff. We've got a good rivalry with them, but we've got them on homecoming again, and we want to upset them at their place like we did 2 years ago.
We get back at it on Friday night. We'll see you there.
Thanks.
Good luck on Friday as well. That's Artesian head coach Carter Whitson here inside Artesian football. Martinsville coming up Friday night over at Whiteland. Should be a good matchup over at Whiteland Community High School. Get out, support the Artesians. 7 o'clock kickoff. If you can't get there, though, tune into the YouTube channel here on MHS Rewind, and you can watch that game live streamed or go back and watch it later after the game is over and enjoy, hopefully, an Artesian victory. As always, I'd like to thank the head coach, Carter Whitson, for coming in. For Coach Whitson, along with Zane Spangler, who produced it, and the kids under the helmet with Tallent and Thomas, and also Jacob Burkett, I'm Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Artesian football.